Chosen one, stop whatever you are doing right now. Not because this is another video competing for your attention, but because what is happening inside your body at this very moment is not a malfunction. It is a signal. There is a pressure building somewhere behind your sternum, a low hum that has no name in any language you were taught. And you have been carrying it for so long that you stopped trying to explain it to other people. You assumed it was anxiety. You assumed it was just the weight of modern life pressing down on you. But I need you to hear this clearly before we go any further. What you are feeling is not a symptom of something broken. It is the first tremor of something waking up. Before we go deeper, if something in those words just landed in your chest, drop a comment below and tell me where you are watching from. I want to know who is in this room with me tonight. I need to take you somewhere first. Picture yourself 3 nights ago, lying in bed long after midnight, the room dark and silent, but somehow still loud. The ceiling looks the same as always, but you are staring at it like it owes you an answer. Your body is exhausted, but your mind is running a race it did not sign up for. Your hands are cold. You feel a strange heat moving up your back. Not pain exactly, but a pressure, a current. Like something large and electrical is trying to move through a channel that is too narrow for it. And somewhere in that quiet, you asked a question that you maybe never said out loud. You asked why it feels like you were built for something that has not happened yet. That question is not random. That question is diagnostic. It tells me exactly what kind of person you are and exactly why you are watching this right now. The Bible records in Romans 8:22 that all of creation has been groaning together as if in the pains of childbirth. Most people read that verse and imagine the end of the world. But the Greek word Paul chose was stenazo. And stenazo does not simply mean to groan in pain. It describes something alive and powerful that is being forced to exist inside a space that is too small for it. It is the sound of magnitude pressing against limitation. That is the word the Spirit chose to describe what you are experiencing. You are not falling apart. You are stenazo. You are a vast thing pressing against the edges of the container you were placed in. And the pressure is increasing because the container is finally starting to give way. Here is what I want you to understand about your own history. Every season of isolation you have walked through, every year where it felt like the world moved on and left you behind, every friendship that quietly dissolved, every room where you smiled and nodded while feeling completely invisible inside. None of it was abandonment. None of it was punishment. It was preservation. Think of a massive electrical grid that has been carefully powered down and protected for centuries. Not because the power inside it was weak, because it was too significant to run through infrastructure that was not ready to carry it. You were kept in the quiet. You were kept in the margin. You were kept where the noise could not reach you, not because you were forgotten, but because the wrong hands could not be allowed to get hold of what was being built inside you. You are not the outcast. You are the prototype. If that phrase just hit something real in you, go ahead and like this video. It helps more people who are asking the same questions find their way here. Now, I need to explain what is actually happening in your nervous system, because this is where the spiritual and the scientific are converging in a way that even researchers at NASA have had to acknowledge. Your brain operates across different frequency states. The one most people are locked into during waking life is called beta. It is the high alert, deadline chasing, notification responding frequency of the modern world. It is useful for survival. It is terrible for anything deeper. But there is another state, a slower and more expansive frequency called theta. And it is the state where the boundaries between your conscious mind and something much larger begin to dissolve. It is the state documented in mystics, in healers, in the apostles who turned the ancient world upside down. Children spend most of their early years in this state. Researchers have confirmed that nearly all young children naturally operate there, which is why they learn at a rate that adults cannot replicate, why they dream in vivid color, why they believe impossible things without effort. The world trains that frequency out of us. Stress trains it out. Urgency trains it out. But for some people, and you are one of them, that frequency did not disappear. It went dormant. It was sealed, waiting. The book of Daniel uses a specific Hebrew word when describing the hidden knowledge preserved for the end of days. That word is chatam. It means to seal something precious so that it cannot be contaminated or wasted before the right time arrives. What is awakening in you right now has been chatam, not dead, not lost, sealed, and the seal is breaking. But here is the problem you are facing in real time. When a theta frequency tries to express itself through a brain that has been locked in beta for years, the collision produces symptoms that look remarkably like anxiety. The restlessness at 3 in the morning is not your mind fracturing. It is two incompatible operating systems running simultaneously. The chronic fatigue that no amount of sleep seems to touch is not weakness. It is what happens when you are burning energy to hold a frequency that your current neural wiring was never trained to carry efficiently. You cannot resolve this with more willpower. You cannot think your way through a biological mismatch. You need a bridge. Take a breath right now. Not to relax, just to create space. I want you to do something small but important. Wherever you are, just notice the sensation in the center of your chest. Do not try to change it. Do not name it as good or bad. Just observe it like you would observe weather moving across a wide open field. That act of neutral observation, that practice of witnessing your own interior experience without immediately reacting to it, is the first movement toward the frequency you were built to carry. The prophets were not calm because nothing affected them. They were grounded because they learned to observe the storm from a place that the storm could not reach. Comment the word witness below if you just felt something shift when you did that. I read these comments, and what you share matters to the people who come after you. Now, I want to address something you have probably never said out loud to anyone. There is a fear underneath all of this that is more specific than just the fear of the unknown. It is the fear of becoming. You have watched what happens to people when something significant opens up in their lives. Some of them get proud. Some of them get strange. Some of them walk into a gift and come out the other side as someone unrecognizable. Someone colder. Someone who forgot what it cost to get there. And you are terrified that activation means erasure. That the light, if it truly comes in, will burn away the version of you that people love. I need you to hear this carefully. That fear is not a red flag, it is a green light. The people who received power and were destroyed by it were almost always people who had no fear of it. They grabbed the blessing the way a child grabs a live wire, with curiosity and no respect for the voltage. But you have been carrying the weight of this thing for years without understanding what it was, and you are still here. You have been faithful in the silence. You showed up for the season that no one applauded. That kind of character does not disappear when the light increases. It becomes the structure that the light moves through without destroying anything. Your fear is not evidence of unworthiness. Your fear is evidence that you already understand the weight of what you are being asked to carry, and that understanding is exactly what qualifies you. There is a woman I want to tell you about. For years she was told she had a sensitivity disorder. She felt the emotional currents of everyone around her so intensely that crowds became unbearable and close relationships left her drained. Every doctor and therapist treated it as a deficit, but she was not broken. She was operating at a frequency that her world had no category for. When she stopped treating her sensitivity as a malfunction and started treating it as information, everything changed. She did not lose the gift. She gained the ability to use it deliberately. Today she helps people understand things about themselves they could not find language for. The very thing that made her life feel unlivable became the thing that made her presence irreplaceable. That is the pattern, and it is your pattern too. I want to leave you with a 3-part practice that you can begin using immediately. When you feel the pressure build, when the noise of other people and other demands starts bleeding into your interior space, ask yourself 3 questions in sequence. First, is this mine? If the feeling arrives suddenly and feels foreign, heavier than your actual circumstances warrant, it likely is not yours. You do not have to carry frequencies that do not belong to you. Second, is this theirs? If you can trace the feeling to a person or a situation in your environment, you are allowed to observe it without absorbing it. Being aware of someone else's storm does not require you to stand in the rain. Third, is this true? Not, is it real? Because many things are real without being true to who you are becoming. Is this frequency aligned with what you know at your deepest level about why you are here? This filter will not eliminate difficulty, but it will stop you from spending your energy on signals that were never addressed to you in the first place. Share this with someone who has been telling you they feel like they do not belong anywhere. They may need to hear that not belonging to the wrong place is not a wound, it is a direction. Now, I want to close this the way it deserves to be closed. Not with more information, but with a moment of stillness. If you are physically able, sit up straight. Place your hand over your chest. Not in performance, not for the camera, but as an acknowledgement. You made it through seasons that were designed to disqualify you. You stayed honest when it would have been easier to become numb. You kept asking questions when the people around you stopped. That perseverance is not incidental to what is opening up in you right now. It is the reason it is opening up in you right now. God of every name and every silence. We stand at the end of a long waiting. Every person reading and listening right now who has cried in private, who has carried questions they could not explain, who has felt the voltage of something enormous pressing against the limits of their current life. We bring that weight forward as readiness, not defeat. Seal into them the understanding that their sensitivity is architecture, not fragility. Seal the peace Paul described, that peace which towers so far above ordinary logic that anxiety cannot climb to where it lives. Let the frequency that has been dormant begin to move. Let every connection belonging to this new season appear naturally. Let every exit that needs to happen be clean. We receive this not as a destination, but as a beginning, in the name that carries all authority over every frequency, seen and unseen. Now sit in it. Let 60 seconds pass without filling the silence. Let the recalibration settle somewhere below thought. You will feel the difference between who walked in here and who is leaving. Now you can say Amen.